checking on us?
Checking, just making sure.
Right. And we have our little yellow. Yes, we do. Everybody got your little yellow paper ready? It's gonna be a small crowd. They don't. Everybody, I don't know where they are. Yes, we were all out yesterday, but that's all. That is the most amazing man's work that I've ever seen in my life.
That was me?
Huh? What are you talking about?
You.
I know.
I thought you were talking
One of
about,
us back here.
yeah, one of us. I thought you were talking about me back there.
Oh, we are. We were talking about Solomon.
Oh. Hello, people at home. It's time to start. Welcome to Travel is Fun Tours Travel Club for March 8th, 2023. You guys ready?
Yes.
All right, let's get this kicking. Let me see. I got to turn on the remote. There it goes. Hi.
Hi.
Nobody here is a first timer, are they? Is it your first time with us, darling? You've been before.
Me?
Yeah.
Sure enough.
I thought so. Well, I'll do this quickly for the folks at home who don't know. But we are a family-owned small business. We are located right around the corner, over on the other side of that construction mess. We are responsive to your needs. We want you to come back. We want you to go home and talk to your friends. We want you to talk to strangers on the street and tell them how great Travel is Fun is, and that they should go to tifftours.com and look up our trips and go on a bunch of them. We are fully licensed and insured, and we are very careful with how we manage the funds. That's why we are still standing, and a lot of other people aren't. We have over 40 years of experience. We've been doing this a very long time, back when I didn't have any of this distinguished gray hair. We use up-to-date modern motor coaches. We go with Mark's First Class, and they've got some dynamite coaches and drivers for it. And here comes the bus now. Look close. You can see Dad right there. We're going to do a bunch of overnight tours. I'm going to tell you about a bunch of them. They go all over the place. They're going to be going as far as Colorado this year. And I'm just going to save that. One thing for you to know is the pastel colored ones, we call those in-house. We built those trips all by our little selves. If you see one on the full colored paper, that is a diamond tour. And those are a little different from our in-house tours. I've got one of those coming up, so I'll tell you about those differences. We're going to do all kinds of day trips. We're going to go all over creation, see everything there is to see, some of it twice, and we're going to drag you around and make sure you have a great time seeing all of Florida, or as much of Florida as we can get to in one day. We have an optional travel club. Costs you $18 to be a new member or $15 for renewals. It is not required. It is absolutely optional. And if you join it, you get a name tag, you get $2 off your trips, and you get put on the mailing list. So you get me mailing you a bunch of propaganda each and every month. And Ollie comes to the office and helps me fold that propaganda. So she is a cohort in that crime. Bottom line with Travel is Fun. We're going to be friendly. We are going to be courteous. We're going to be informative, even if we have to make up most of the stuff we're telling you. That's for you to figure out. You got Google. You can figure it out. We want you to be comfortable on that coach. We want you to have a really good time. Most of all, you're going to have fun because you're going to get to go someplace and you don't have to deal with calling crazy people on the phone and setting these things up, or dealing with hotels that are very demanding and difficult, or dealing with vendors that are a pain in the you-know-where. I'm going to do all that. That's why I have this distinguished gray hair now. We're going to do Where in the World contest. Does everybody have one of those little yellow slips? You got them? Got your name on there? You ready?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to show you a picture of a place Travel is Fun has been before. And it's up to you to figure out where it is. Winner gets $25 off. Do not yell out the answer, especially if you think you know the right answer, Mary.
I don't.
No, you've never done that. You've been very good. No phone a friend, no using your smartphone to be a smart aleck. And if you've already won Where in the World this year, Buffy, then you don't get to win again. I'm sorry. We had to come up with that because the same 3 people won every darn month. So we had to have a rule so that give the rest of you guys a chance. Okay, anybody need to stare at that anymore? Huh? It's somewhere. It's a place. A thing.
Not the Alamo.
It ain't. You know, that's funny. That's exactly what Wendy said this morning when she was doing the meeting. It is not the Alamo.
No, it's
Have you been
not.
talking to Wendy? Did you call her to try and find out where this was? I'll watch Mary very closely. Okay, we're going to do highlights of upcoming trips now. So this Saturday, if you like hanging out with my crazy Wendy, and if you want to watch her hobble around in a big boot because she broke her foot, she is going to be hosting Murders, She Wrote, Murder on the 19th Hole. The meal's going to be over on the Tampa side of the Gandy at an Elks Lodge. They're serving prime rib or chicken and shrimp. So a really good meal, cash bar available. Should be a lot of fun. So sign up. We got room for a few more. We'd love to have you.
It'll kill you.
It will. It's going to kill somebody. The Beatles trip, Monday, March 13th. Forget about it. Nobody wanted to go. We're not going to do it. Sorry. Next Thursday, though, Lunch Bunch, Cricketers. We're going to celebrate a little bit of early St. Patty's Day. I'll have beads for you. And we are almost full. I think I've got maybe 2 or 3 seats left. So we are going to have a good full bus for Cricketers. After Cricketers, I get to go home, and I don't have to go to the RP Funding Center in Lakeland for On Your Feet, the Gloria Estefan story, because that didn't sell either. Unfortunately.
Did the Eagles sell?
What's that?
The Eagles?
The Eagles are right about there. If 2 or 3 more of you sign up for the Eagles today, we should have enough to run that one. So sign up if you would like to go. If you're going on it and you want to see it go, strong arm some people, get them to go with you. Look at Carl. He's leaning on Ollie out back there already. Carl's doing it right. We got Springtime in Savannah, March 21st to 24th. That is on a wait list. There's about 50 folks on that bus. And the Straz, we're going to see Wicked Saturday the 26th. That is on a wait list, not because I have a full bus. We've got almost 40 people going, but the theater's out of seats. Both of those, if you would like to go on them, you can do our wait list. That's what WL stands for. And that means you put your name on the wait list. If somebody cancels, we call you and give you a chance to go. You had a question? No? Just had a spasm? We're dancing?
I was going to say if I bring my witch's hat or green face.
I don't know that that'll get you anything special, but you do you.
I go in costumes a lot of stuff.
Okay, April 4th, we're doing one of my favorite destinations. We're going to Wild, Florida. Who knows where that is?
Yeah.
Keenanville. Who can drive to Keenanville with their eyes closed? None of us. It's way up. What's that?
I spell it.
Kenanville. Keenanville, a small city in the state of Florida. Do I win the spelling bee?
Was it named after Mr. Keenan?
Probably. Or maybe his wife or one of his kids. Anyway, it's a fantastic animal park. We're going to do a safari on the bus first when we get there. You'll drive through the safari area. The animals will be meandering around you. You'll get a good look at them. We're going to do a stop at the giraffe encounter, and you'll get to get off the bus, climb the little steps up to the top there, and the giraffes will come up. They'll eat out of your hand. If you're attractive to giraffes, as I am, you might get kissed or guzzled. And when that is done, we're going to go to the main park. They have several food venues there. They've got all kinds of animals for you to visit. They've got a nice boardwalk under shady trees. And they do have some additional experiences you can go to the gift shop and buy. So you can actually go into some of the enclosures with some of these critters. The one that leaps to mind is I did the tree sloth with Wendy years ago. She loved that.
Really slowly.
You can also have a very nice lunch with the alligators. They will take you inside the gator enclosure and set up a table for you and serve you a very nice lunch. And make sure that the gator doesn't have you for lunch. I want to see one of you guys try that. April 7th, we got a show called Misery, and that is at the Straz also. It is based on a Stephen King book of the same name, and it starred Kathy Bates and
James Caan.
James Caan. Thank you. And in the story, James Caan is a writer, and Kathy Bates is his #1 fan, and she doesn't like how he ended his last book. Well, fate has it that he gets in a car accident near her house, and nobody's around except her. So she drags him to her car, takes him to her house, and chains him up in her spare bedroom, where she nurses him back to health and requires him to write a new ending to the story. So should be a fun show. The character Kathy Bates plays is a little cuckoo, and it's kind of entertaining to watch. There are some bits of violence in there because she does get a little violent. I like to think of Stephen King writing this story thinking about particular fans he's met over the years. I'm sure that's what inspired this story. This one does not have enough to go right now, so we do need some more folks on it. April 8th, Silver Springs. That one's a little light also. Actually, everything in April right now, except for Lunch Bunch, needs more for it to go. Silver Springs, Florida's #1 theme park, our first, and a lot of great stuff to see there. Lulu the hippo, one of the oldest hippos in captivity, and they've got glass bottom boats, so you can see all the fishies swimming around. And that's actually where they filmed several of the scenes from the early Creature from the Black Lagoon movies, and some Tarzan movies were shot there. So you get to visit film locations. April 9th, we're doing Double Wide Texas. That's at the Off-Broadway Palm Dinner Theater down in Fort Myers. And it's a story of one of the smallest trailer parks in Texas. And the nearby town of Tougaloo, looking for more tax dollars, of course, wants to annex them. So these colorful residents scheme and come up with everyday trials and work on various ways to save their little community from the evil people of Tougaloo. One of the cool things about the show, too, is it's got a cast of about 20, 30 characters played by 3 or 4 people. So you got constant costume changes and running back and forth. The food is spectacular. There's a cash bar. The desserts will blow your mind. April 13th, I heard Buffy pushing this one. Come on, Barbara, you got to go. They got Pirates of the Caribbean duck boats. Look how safe that is. It's got inflatable bladders on the side, so it can't possibly sink. It's not like Titanic. And you can always make a boyfriend and float on a door towards the end and tell him you'll always remember him as he sinks to the bottom of the Gulf. And Celine Dion sings My Heart Will Go On. There's a nice spot you can stand with your boyfriend right there on the front like this. It's going to be a really neat trip. We're going to this where are we going? John's Pass. We're going to John's Pass. You'll board the duck boat. It's going to take you for an hour tour down the beaches, and they're going to tell you about the history and how things developed out there. Then they're going to launch into the water like this and take you out for a boat ride for a while. And the duck boat, again, the bladders will inflate, making sure she stays upright. A lot of times they will see dolphins, sometimes even some manatees on these trips. And then we're going to have some time for you to have lunch on your own at John's Pass. A lot of good restaurants here. April 15th, here she comes. Wendy's going to take you shopping at Crate. That is up in, I want to say Port Richey. No. Did I get that wrong? I always get that wrong. Wesley Chapel. I was close. It's a unique kind of shopping place. It's next to the Groves, and there's a big shopping center next door. The Crate itself is actually a bunch of shipping containers that have been converted into shopping complex. And they've got about 20, 25 different restaurants in there. And they all specialize in something different. So whatever you want to eat, you can find it there. So you'll have some lunch. Wendy will run the bus back and forth a little bit. You'll have a chance to do shopping at both venues. And it should be a spectacular day. April 20th, our lunch bunch. That's going to be at the Anna Maria Oyster Bar down in Ellington. I was supposed to be out of town on the ARC trip, but we did have to cancel that. So I may go on this.
Cancel?
It is, yes.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, catch me after the meeting. I will explain it to you in full. Since I was supposed to be out of town, Wendy was going to take this one. So I'll probably still let her do it because I know some of you guys had your heart set on having lunch bunch with Todd with Wendy instead. And again, lunch bunch, if you haven't been on one, we celebrate birthdays, anniversaries, and all that fun stuff. April 24th, we've got a mystery tour, 3 days. It will be in South Florida, I'll tell you that much. It's going to go to a bunch of different attractions and sights and sounds and fun things. We're going to feed you pretty good. You got 2 breakfasts included, and I think we're doing 2 lunches on that, if I remember right. And that's all I can really tell you. We're going to have you get on the bus, and you'll find out where the first destination is when we get there.
Do we have enough people?
Yes, that is in the 30s right now. I'd love to see a few more.
I
But,
love that lady on the bus. I don't know who she was. She says, Buffy, when will we find out where we're going? I said, when you get off the bus.
Yep, that is how that game works. April 27th, we're going to do a twofer. We're going down to the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater. You'll have your choice of 2 shows that day. They are different prices. Sister Act is playing in the main theater, and that will be it's based on a Whoopi Goldberg movie called Sister Act about Dolores. She's a disco diva, and she witnesses a crime, so she becomes a witness for the cops, and they stash her in a convent where she kind of takes over the place, and hilarity ensues. In the off-Broadway Palm Dinner Theater on the other side, where they have theater seating, they're doing Always a Bridesmaid, and that's about 4 high school friends who promise to be in each other's weddings no matter what. Of course, one of the girls doesn't get married for 30 years, so that promise drags out just a little longer than they expected. Again, same theater, both shows running at the same time, so you can see either one. It'd be tough to see both unless you run back and forth real fast. April 30th, we're doing a similar scheme. We're going up to the Brooksville Blueberry Festival, and that is one of the best small town festivals in the state. Obviously, it celebrates blueberries. You can get blueberry all kinds of stuff, and there will be arts and crafts on the streets. All the restaurants will be open, and just a very nice day for a festival. So that'll be dropped off first, and then the other group is going to go to see 4 Old Broads on the high seas, and that's going to be at Stage West Dinner Theater. We'll do a lunch stop at Golden Corral on the way, and then you'll get to see the show. Now, how's that going to work? Then, once the folks are dropped off at the theater, the bus will go back to Brooksville, pick up the people from the Blueberry Festival when they're done, and then go back to the theater just as they're getting out from the show, and we'll get everybody back home because they're very close together. You might ask, why am I doing that? Because if I ran both of those trips as a single trip, I'd probably have 20 people on each one and make no money at all. If I combine them, and then maybe we have 40 or 50 people on the bus doing 2 happy things together, and I actually get to make a living for once. So that'll be thrilling. Okay, time for some redneck inventions. I came across these slides I did years ago and thought you might enjoy them. So here are some, yes ma'am.
I love these. It's my favorite part.
Oh, I'm glad. Take notes.
I am.
Some of these things might work for you. Okay, if the car lock breaks on your car, you can go over to Lowe's, and with just a screwdriver and some screws, you can fix that lock on your car. That ain't so hard. Carl's going to run out of the parking lot right now.
Yay!
If you need a front porch,
Yay, I like
it ain't hard to make a front porch, is it?
That's pretty good.
You just got to go raid behind the local Winn-Dixie, steal some pallets. And you got a van, and you got a boat, but you would prefer to have a houseboat. Voila, you put them together, you got you a houseboat.
Go to the door and steal things.
Hey, no, you're camping, and there's no outhouse, and there's no latrine.
It's actually a birth insurance.
Wow.
It could serve dual purposes, yes. Just so you guys know, I invented this when I was in Desert Storm, before we had built any porta potties or toilets or anything, and we had nothing but sand. I stole a metal folding chair, and I took it over to the motor pool, and I had them cut a nice big hole in the seat, and I raided a porta potty I found on the road and stole the toilet seat out of there and bolted it onto my chair. And I carried that all the way into Iraq and back to Saudi Arabia.
Well, they say we get a lot of things out of the wars. I mean,
You got it.
you know.
You know, they laughed at me until they needed it and had to have their turn.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I was popular.
Yeah.
Okay, now if you don't know how to make a fence, you can build a fence. All you gotta do is get a bunch of used rags and clothes and some twine, and you can keep them cattle on the right side for you. May, we're gonna start May out with a trip to Monkey Island. We did this years ago. It's a fantastic lunch. The restaurant out there does handmade pizzas for you. They're gonna do it buffet style, so they'll bring out whatever you guys are putting down. So if you guys are killing the vegetarian pizza, they'll bring another one. If you want the meat lovers, they'll bring another one. The salad was really good. You get ice cream, you get your beverages, and then we're going to take turns because there's a tour boat that'll take us out for a ride around Monkey Island and up to the springs. And they give you a little history of the island and all that. So we'll take turns. One group will be having lunch, and the other group's on the boat, and then we'll flip-flop. But it's really fun up there. You'll dig it. If you don't know about the island, the monkeys should be moving back onto the island shortly. I was talking to somebody yesterday who was giving me the scoop. Apparently they were evicted from the island months ago because the new owners wanted to redo their habitat on the island. Now the problem is the state of Florida has new laws regarding monkey habitats since this was built back in the 1950s. And so now the new habitat for the monkeys has to have air conditioning.
Oh, we don't have to.
I am not making that up.
We don't have to, but.
I'm pretty sure they have to. I'm pretty sure they got to have Wi-Fi too. Anyway, it's a true story. So join us for Monkey Island. You will love it.
It looks like a country.
Okay, May 3rd, we're going to go back to Bach Tower before it gets too hot this summer. And if you haven't been to Bach Tower, it's a beautiful garden. It's out in Lake Wales. It was donated by Edward Bach, who was the publisher of Ladies' Home Journal. That's how he made his fortune and was able to do nice things like build his Bach Gardens. He hired a guy named Frederick Law Olmsted, who is the architect of Central Park in New York. And so he architected this too. It's got that beautiful tower. It's got carillon bells in the top. There will be 2 live performances while we're there. They have recorded performances that play every half hour. You're going to have a very nice lunch included, and you'll have the afternoon to explore the grounds. And you'll be able to go over to the Pinewood Estates, which is not called Pinewood Estates anymore. They changed the name of it. Where is it? El Retiro, something like that. But if you've been there before, it's Pinewood Estate. May 4th, we're going to go back to Snookhaven. They're back open. They're operating. They're going to have the Suncoast Banjo Society playing for you. It's lunch on your own. They've got beer, wine, all the good drinks for you. They've got a great menu. They're not overpriced. They're sitting right on the Myakka River. If you want to take a boat ride, there is a boat ride available. I do recommend booking that ahead of time because that'll sell out quick. And it's a really nice day, and I'm glad we finally get to do it again. That last hurricane hit them a little bit, and they were closed for a while, so they are back on top. May 7th at the Suncoast Broadway Dinner Theater up in Hudson, we're going to go see Escape to Margaritaville. And guess who that's based on? There it is, Jimmy Buffett, yeah. So kick off your flip-flops and set your clock to island time in this tropical paradise where love and laughter are the key to growing older, but not up. We are going to Margaritaville. Leading our visit is Tully. He's a part-time bartender, part-time singer, and full-time charmer. And he thinks he's got life all figured out until a beautiful tourist steals his heart. And it's going to feature a lot of great Jimmy Buffett songs, like It's 5 O'Clock Somewhere, Fins, Volcano, Cheeseburger in Paradise, and a lot more. Should be a really good show. And again, great theater up in Hudson. The nice thing is, Hudson's not quite as far as Fort Myers, too, so it's a little shorter day than when we do the Broadway Palm. Myrtle Beach is coming. That's going to be May 7th to 12th, and it's got a great resort we're staying at, the Beach Cove. It is right on the beach overlooking the Atlantic. Every room in that hotel is an ocean view room, so you're all going to get to look out at the waves when you feel like it. They've got a lazy river built into the hotel. You're going to get a visit to Charleston City Market. You're going to get 3 great shows. I got to fix that on the slide. Carolina Opry, Dolly Parton's Pirate, Voyage Dinner Show, and the Alabama Theater. So fantastic trip there. That one's filling up already too. I'm in the mid-30s, so about another 10, 12 more, and that one will be considered sold out. May 14th, we're going to the Hacienda, and the Hacienda is where that is up in Clearwater or Newport Richey. I wanted to say Clearwater. It was built in the 1920s, and it was a big magnet for a lot of celebrities back in the day. It was going to be torn down, and then it was purchased by actually the guys who owned the Lakeside Inn in Lakeland and refurbished that. So they had a project over the last couple of years to get this really built up nice. We're going to have a very nice meal. They're going to do a little history tour for you of the hotel, and you'll learn all about Hollywood East, as it used to be called. May 17th, due to popular demand, we're going to do Marina Jacks. If you weren't here last month, there was a riot, a small, quiet riot, but it was led by Miss Buffy. So we put Marina Jacks back on because I was going too long without it. It's a great boat ride. It's down in Sarasota Bay and beautiful blue water down there, surrounded by Mediterranean architecture. A fantastic lunch, a narrated tour for you on the boat. And if it's a hot day, you can stay inside where it's nice and air conditioned. If it's at all cool out, you can get up on the decks and enjoy the breeze. But a really good trip. May 18th for Lunch Bunch, we're going to go back to Ozona Blue. That's one of my higher rated restaurants. It's in the top 5 or 6 out of about 50 we've been to since I've took over Lunch Bunch. It's a nice place. It's got an outdoor pool, so if you bring your swim trunks, you can go for a swim if you finish your meal quickly. Although you're supposed to wait half an hour, my mom told me. May 23rd, we're going back to see those cute little mini horses of Fallen Pine Farm. If you didn't read this, I was talking to the owner the other day getting this set up. She had a great year. She went to the show, national show for mini horses, and her horses took the #1 mare and the #2 gelding in the championship in 2022. So it was a really good year for Fallen Pine Farm. They'll have lunch on your own, and you'll have your choice of Yoder's or Der Dutchman. So a lot of you guys ask to go to Yoder's, and this is your chance. We don't usually do Yoder's with a full bus because they will not take reservations. We're going to have to drop you off next to the restaurant. You will have to wait in line for a seat for a little bit. But if it's only a few of us, it's not so bad. If 50 people try to get in that restaurant, it's kind of a disaster. May 25th, here she comes. Are you ready? There she is. Wendy's going to do her historical Tampa tour. She's got all kinds of interesting history. She knows where the bodies are buried, and she will show you. She's going to drive around. You'll get some architectural history, some political history, and we're going to go over to Tampa, too, and have lunch on your own at delicious Portillo's. If you haven't tried Portillo's, the hot dogs are dynamite. The burgers are really good. But take a friend if you're going to get the chocolate cake. Lori bought me the chocolate cake one time out of the kindness of her heart. I think she was trying to kill me. May 27th, we're going over to Orlando. We're going to go to Country Nights Live. They're going to have a fantastic family-style dinner for you with fried chicken and ribs and mashed taters and veggies and beans and cornbread and strawberry shortcake. And it's also going to include your soft drinks. And they do have a bar there, so you will be able to get some adult beverages. There's a dance floor, so Mary can teach you how to dance. And she's got the moves.
I'm Barry.
It should be a really nice night. You will be getting back well after dark. It's an evening performance. May 29th, if you like your elephants, we're going to go over to the Mayaca Elephant Ranch and take you over to University Town Center for lunch on your own. You will get a photo op with an elephant. You will get to touch them and be right next to them and get to say hi. And they do about a 45-minute presentation with them. And they'll probably stretch it out a little more than that. But a unique chance to make friends with an elephant. Time for some more redneck inventions. You guys paying attention back there?
Oh,
All
yeah.
right, here we go. That is not a locksmith I would call. If you can't tell, he's got a bike lock holding his van closed. I mean, A for inventiveness, but professionalism.
Oh.
Is it
Okay.
rubber bands?
It is a rubber band, an ancient Nokia phone on the center of the steering wheel. And what is in the center of the steering wheel? And not just the horn, an airbag. So if that airbag goes off, what's going to happen to that phone? It will be in the back of your skull next.
Yes.
Okay, somebody couldn't figure out how to fix his pop-up headlights. I don't think that's a Fiero. I'm not sure what car that is. And if you don't have a trailer, but you got a broken down car and you got a big saw, why don't you turn your broken down car into a trailer? All you need is the front hitch, right? And I will guarantee you guys, this is not one of the hotels we've ever stayed in. But somebody wanted the entertainment center at the foot of their bed, and they put two and two together. But that is not one of our hotel selections. Okay, finally, it's time to talk about June. June 1st, we're going to go to Tarpon Springs. And you need to come along. Buffy needs your moral support. She chickened out last time. She could not get our boat driver's phone number. You guys go and help her this time. Or at least let her get the diver's phone number. Yeah, we'll get her squared away. We're going to get there early in the day, give you a little time for shopping and lunch. Lunch is on your own, so you have all of Dodecanese to choose from.
I just think Donovan's Reef, the movie was made.
Yes, it was. Yep, and beneath the 12-mile reef also. And after lunch, we will all meet across from Ella's and jump on the sponge boat. They're going to take us out in the bay a little bit. And the driver's going to go out and demonstrate the suit and how he goes under. And
Is that
harvest
the one that
sponges.
does the old
Yes.
fashioned?
Yeah, he's gonna look just like
Right
that.
there.
That's right off the website from the boat company.
Yeah, but I just saw it on TV where they have that round thing, that's the old
Yeah, see
fashioned
it
one.
in the
Yep,
lower
yep.
left.
Oh, that's fun.
You'll be wearing that.
Fun.
Hey, great.
Oh, give me
That's
modern
great.
equipment, thank you.
Okay, June 3rd, we're going to see Footloose at the Broadway Palm Dinner Theater. And one of my favorite musicals. I love this one. Kevin Bacon, back before he saved the universe for the Guardians of the Galaxy. You guys don't know the reference, do you? That's too bad. Okay, so Guardians of the Galaxy, they're these space people. And one of them is a talking tree, and there's a talking raccoon.
I approve.
And yeah, exactly. And Star-Lord is a young boy who was kidnapped from Earth when he's like 12. And he remembers Footloose. And he tells the other guys about how cool Kevin Bacon is and how he saved the world. Well, Star-Lord is kind of sad because it's Christmas. So two of his friends take their spaceship back to Earth and kidnap Kevin Bacon for him for Christmas. They just did that Christmas special. It was actually very good. Anyway, back to the story of Footloose. A lively city boy moves from Chicago to a small farming town where rock and roll and dancing have been banned by the horrible John Lithgow playing the minister in town who doesn't allow dancing. I love John Lithgow. I could watch him in anything.
Yeah.
He shakes things up and overturns the extreme ban in the process as he catches the attention of the lovely preacher's daughter, of course. It's got a top 40 score, includes great songs like Holding Out for a Hero, Let's Hear It for the Boy, Almost Paradise, and of course the title song, Kenny Loggins, Footloose. June 4th to 7th, we've got a Florida Panhandle tour. I've got a lot of things people have been asking for going up to the Panhandle. I put them together. I arranged them brilliantly, if I do say so myself. And I think we're going to have a great tour. So here's how it's going to work. Day one, we're going to get up bright and early, and we're going to drive all the way out to Marianna, Florida. And that is where the Florida Caverns are. So before we go to the hotel, we'll go visit the Florida Caverns, do a little tour. It's one of the most accessible caverns I've been to. We can't take wheelchairs in, but if you've got a walking stick or a cane, with a little help, we can get you through there pretty easy. It's not steep. It's got nice level walkways for the most part, some steps, but it's beautiful. It's really lit neatly. That's actually a picture from the caverns there.
It's Florida, isn't it underwater?
No, it is not. I've been in it. It is not underwater.
It's supposed to be a show.
So the next morning, we'll get up at our beautiful hotel in Marianna, have a nice breakfast. Then we're going to the Seacrest Wolf Preserve. We're going to get to spend 2 hours in an enclosure, in several different enclosures with real live wolves. You will have to wear closed-toed shoes and long pants and sign a waiver to go in and play with the wolves. But when we go in, they'll want you to sit on the ground. I will help you up if you have trouble getting up. But then the wolves will come in, and they are free to come around. And if he comes up to you and you want to pat him, you can pat him. And we'll have somebody taking pictures. And now, if you're with me, you know how I like to talk to animals. So I will be howling with the wolves and seeing if I can get them to howl too. Because I like
They
them.
might not let you do that.
Oh, no, I'm sure they will. Look at the girl in the picture. She's howling with the wolf. Okay, then from there, we're going to move on to our hotel near Tallahassee. So the next day, we're going to have the Florida State Capitol and the Governor's Mansion. On the way to the Capitol, we're going to stop at Torreya Forest. Now, a lot of you guys probably have never heard of Torreya Forest. It's up in the Panhandle. It's a beautiful state park. It's on the Atchafalaya River. I think I said that right. Apalachicola. It's one of them rivers. It's hard to pronounce. It's a beautiful place. I've taken my scouts up there for hikes. It is the home to the last few remaining Torreya pine trees. Torreya pines used to be the most popular pine tree for Christmas trees. And they were harvested darn near to extinction in the mid-20th century. So the last few of them are here at Torreya Forest. There's also a beautiful plantation house, the Gregory Plantation House. So we'll get a history tour of the house. And normally they don't do tours the day we're going, of course, but I talked them into it. So that'll be pretty exciting. So then the next day we've got the state capitol and the governor's mansion. Then we're going to head to Gainesville. You notice what we're doing. Day one, we drove all the way out to Marianna. Then we start working our way back to Tallahassee and then to Gainesville. When we get to Gainesville that afternoon, we're going to go to the Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings Farm and Home. And again, they aren't supposed to do tours on a Tuesday. I talked them into it. So they're going to let us into the house. If you don't know who Marjorie Kinnan Rawlings is, you've heard of the book The Yearling. If you've seen the movie, you cried your eyes out, right?
Yes.
So we're going to get to go to the home where she really made Florida famous with those books. Then we've got a nice hotel in Gainesville. Have a nice dinner. All of these hotels have some nice restaurants right next to the hotels. Couldn't get any Drury's on this one. I did try. And then the next morning after breakfast, we're going to Two Tails Elephant Ranch to have another encounter with an elephant. And we get to feed the elephant. We get to play with him and have pictures with him. And so after that, we'll have lunch and head home. And that'll be a pretty exciting 4 days, don't you think?
I think it sounds good.
Yeah, and it makes the last day won't be too hard because we're just coming back from Gainesville. So it won't be too late. June 7th, we're going to do a Sarasota Circus History Tour. I'm going to have a step-on guide from Sarasota who was somebody who worked with the Ringling Brothers Circus throughout the years, and will be able to take you around and show you all the points that are important to circus history. We're going to do lunch on your own at Der Dutchman on that one. Is that what it says? Good, I got something right.
Well, that's what it says on your screen.
It says it there, yeah.
On the paper too.
Okay, good. Once in a while,
It's even underlined.
yeah, once in a while, Lori and I don't agree on stuff, and she writes the sheet and I do the slides. So it should be a spectacular day. I'm really looking forward to having a great tour guide for this. June 10th, we're going to do two things down in Sarasota. The St. Armand's Circle Craft Festival, the 21st annual, is happening. So what we'll do, the bus is going to go to St. Armand's Circle, and everybody on the bus will have time for lunch. Those of you who want to stay at St. Armand's Circle and do the Arts and Crafts Festival and do some shopping, we'll have hours to do that. Some of you will be signed up to go see Man of La Mancha, and that'll be at the Oslo Theater on the Ringling Estate nearby. So again, similar to some of the other trips, if you want to see Man of La Mancha, we already have a fair number of people signed up for it. It's a fantastic musical. If you don't know the story, number one, the coolest thing about Man of La Mancha, it's based on a book called Don Quixote de la Mancha, and it's written by a man named Miguel Cervantes. Miguel Cervantes, if you don't know him, had a really interesting career. He spent a long time in jail because as a tax collector, the king accused him of pilfering some taxes. I can't imagine that happening today. So while he was in prison, he dreamed up a character named Don Quixote de la Mancha. And he eventually wrote the story of this man that he made up. What's unique about it is Don Quixote is actually the first published book that was a work of fiction. Everything before that was copies of the Bible or almanacs for farming or his histories. And it was the first written work of fiction. So that's kind of exciting. It's a beautiful story about a man, and he's kind of slipping into dementia. And he has a friend, and together they go out, and he believes he is a knight errant out to rid the world of evil. And he sees things in a different way than they actually are. But he's so pure in his beliefs, he brings people to believe that the things he sees could be real. It's a really beautiful story. If you love the song "To Dream the Impossible Dream," that is the song of the play. So anyway, that'll be an exciting day, Saturday, June 10th, either the Craft Festival or Man of La Mancha. Also, June 10th, Dad's going to be leaving for the Branson Show Extravaganza, and that is a diamond tour, as you can see there. So what's different about diamond tours is we won't know the hotels till about 30 days before departure, and it won't be a March bus. We'll have an outside bus company providing transportation for that, but what that gives us is a fantastic price. Diamond can really crank the price down because they're a big national company, so they really squeeze a great value out of the hotels and the attractions in the bus company. You're going to have 6 great shows on that one. Dublin's Irish Tenors with Celtic Ladies, the Doug Gabriel Show, a Neil Diamond tribute show, not the Neil Diamond, the Haygood Show, Presley's Country Jubilee, and Queen Esther at the Sight and Sound Theater, which is a beautiful theater. Usually they have live animals on the stage for most of their performances. The theater was actually built by the Amish up there, too. June 11th, on Sunday, we've got Annie at the Straz. So if you think you've had a hard knock life, you can come join us at the Straz and enjoy a great show. I got to see a number from this a month or so ago when I was camping. One of my friends, her daughter, was performing in Annie at her high school. And so she was hanging around the campfire with my scouts, and she did Hard Knock Life for all my scouts.
Oh, fun.
And then I pulled it up on my phone so she could have the music to accompany her. And I had the words on the phone, so me and one of the other scouts were singing along with her.
Oh, that's fun.
It was a fun night. June 17th, we're going to go to the Villages. You guys all know the infamous Villages up near Ocala. And you notice I've got the loofahs right there. I got a guide for spotting who's got which loofah on. You guys don't know about the loofahs? So the Villages has a reputation of, how do I put this delicately, Ollie? They get
Good luck.
they get real friendly up there.
There you go. Everyone's best friend.
And so the loofahs tell you what kind of friendly person is in that car. We'll figure it out. So we're going to take you on a tour of the Villages, and you'll probably get to see a golf cart parade while you're there. There's golf carts everywhere. We're going to have a step-on guide tell us about the history of the Villages and maybe some of the rumors about the Villages. And then after that, we're going to go over to the Ilaha Bakery nearby, and you'll have time for lunch. It's a Saturday, so we'll have live entertainment. You have great food. You might have to wait a little while for your food because they tend to be kind of crowded, but the food is fantastic. It's an old world German bakery. You will want to bring some stuff home too, I guarantee it. I brought home this apple cake pie one time. It was like that big around, that tall, and it had crust all on the outside and apples on the inside. I think it had to weigh 10 pounds. It took me a good month to eat the whole thing. God, it was worth it though. It was so good. They got bratwurst and deli sandwiches and all that stuff too. So that'll be that day. June 2nd, lunch bunch. We're going to go to the Lucky Dill. Notice I made it look like the Brady Bunch. Brady Bunch. You know how long it took me to do that? We're going back to the Lucky Dill. They got great food. Their motto is the sandwich that ate Brooklyn. So you will not go home hungry from the Lucky Dill. We got a good menu put up for you there. Here we go. Shopping with Wendy's coming back. Here, I'm going to make her come in again. You ready? She caught a gator, if you can't tell. That's a little gator. She's going to take you to International Market World. I was just going to make that a regular destination trip, but then it's shopping. So I'm throwing in Wendy, no extra charge. You can have her. It is a really interesting place. It's out in Auburndale. They're going to do 2 circus performances that day, so you have a chance to go watch the circus. They have gator wrestling on the grounds. They got all kinds of different food venues. And it's a flea market, so there's all kinds of stuff to look through and buy. There's produce. So you'll have a fantastic day with Wendy. It is a little ways out, so it's going to be a day that goes by mileage, not hours. So we won't be rushing you. You'll have plenty of time to explore out there and take in the shows, wrestle a gator, and get some good produce to bring home. Here's a little commercial for it. I hope. There it goes.
Come explore a world filled with music, food, shopping, farm fresh produce, laughter, free circus shows, new use merchandise, free admission with acres of free parking for cars and RVs. We're just a quick drive from anywhere in Central Florida. Conveniently located between Orlando and Tampa in Auburndale. International Market World is fun for the entire family. Our food concessions are waiting with a feast for the senses. Prepare to order family favorites, sure to have your mouth watering. Shoppers will find a wonder. Hard to find specialty items. Find something for everyone on your list while shopping smart and save big. Take in a rainbow of colors. The freshest flavors available in Florida make International Market World your one-stop shopping destination. You can also visit us online for more information. Internet. And be sure.
There, how's that? So I hope you guys will join us for that one. Then June 28th, we've got the Ringling Theater. That is their summer circus spectacular. So, Ringling doesn't tour anymore. They shut that down. So these are a lot of the retired performers from Ringling and some of the newer ones. And they're going to be on the stage at the Oslo in air conditioning, giving you a fantastic show. You're also going to have access to the Circus Museum while you're there, because that's included in the ticket. June 30th, we've got the Ybor City Museum and lunch at the Columbia Restaurant. Now's a good time for Ollie to come collect your little yellow slips.
I'm listening to you
You-
today.
You fell asleep back there, didn't you?
No, I was.
I hypnotized you?
I never listened to you talk.
Join the club.
Yeah, second time around.
God, it's like we're married. So we're going to take you to a great little museum in Ybor City. Dad's going to give his history tour of Ybor, and he should be a college professor. The man's read more books about Ybor than anybody I know. And then we're going to have a great lunch at the Columbia Restaurant, where you can have your arroz con pollo, chicken and yellow rice, or the half Cuban sandwich, dessert, and salad. So you will have a delicious meal there. While Ollie's doing that, it's time for more Redneck Inventions. So, there's one way to keep your cupboards up in the house. Of course, if you get a flat with the car, you're going to be in trouble. And see, somebody found yet another use for that toilet seat they had in the last batch. That'd be handy if that's the same chair, wouldn't it? Now, you might not notice right away the seats they used to make their buggy. They stole those out of somebody's van. You can recognize those seats. And there's somebody who would not spend any money on their kids' playground equipment. Oh, okay, we got a couple more to cover. July 3rd to 7th, New Orleans, 4th of July. We've got a few people signed up on it, but I have a tight contract on that with the hotel. That hotel is going to cut me loose by the end of March. I don't have enough people to run the tour. So if you're one of these folks who thinks you're going to sign up in the middle of June for this trip, you're going to be wrong. We need a few more. We need you to sign up early for this. It's going to be spectacular. Don't make Mary cry. Join us. Let's have a good time.
I really want to go to that.
I do too. I'm excited about it. The highlight of the trip is 4th of July. We're going to get into town 4th of July to New Orleans. We're going to have a step-on guide do a tour for us. We'll check into our beautiful St. Charles Inn Hotel right on St. Charles.
Hotel.
We're going to get on the Creole Queen that evening for a dinner cruise on the Mississippi. And there are going to be fireworks barges on both sides of us firing off 4th of July fireworks. No fighting a crowd. No running around trying to get dinner. Everything's coming right to you. So we'll ride around the Mississippi. We'll land. We'll get back to the hotel, get you a good night's sleep. The next morning, you're going to have an included ticket for the trolley. And the trolley will take you west or east. West, you'll go find the Audubon Park and the zoo and all that stuff. Go to the east, and that's the French Quarter. And you can explore all day to your heart's content. That trolley runs 24 hours a day. Now, I will warn you, New Orleans can be a rough city. So I'll tell you guys, be like scouts, practice the buddy system. Make sure you go somewhere with a friend. And if you're out in the evening, take a couple friends, make sure you're together and watch each other. But once you're in the French Quarter, they do police the French Quarter very carefully because they know that's where all their tourist money comes from. So the cops are all over the French Quarter, and you'll be fine there. We got nice hotels on that one. We're going to stay at the Mobile Drury Inn one night. Then we're going to be back at that Mariana Comfort Suites. That's the same hotel we're in the first night of the Panhandle tour, too. So if you forgot something there, you can come back and get it. Anyway, that's the 4th of July tour. Tell your friends about it. Get signed up. Do it early. Don't wait till the last minute because I want to lock this one in. I'm really excited about going. Dad just came up with fall foliage, October 22nd to 27th. The key feature there is going to be Dollywood. And you're going to get to go to the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. You're going to visit Newfound Gap. Newfound Gap's a pretty interesting place. FDR was there and made a speech when they dedicated the park. You're going to go to the Sugarlands Visitor Center, one of the best museums of the Smokies. You got the Hit Parade Time Warp music show, a visit to Gatlinburg, a full day at Dollywood, and the Inn at Apple Valley while you're there, and 2 Drury Inn nights. Can't beat that. Rumor Mill, Best of the West is done, mostly. I got all the hotels. I've got to get the features. So definitely by next month's meeting, I will have Best of the West done. A couple of the highlights of it, we're going to go out to Colorado. We're going to see Pikes Peak. We're going to do the Rockies National Park. We're going to go to the Air Force Academy and a bunch of other great stuff. Oh, we're going back to, we're going to go back to South Fork for you Dallas fans. We're going to go to JR South Fork Ranch and have a great lunch and tour there. I'm still trying to pull together a trip to Kennedy Space Center and a luau. We're working on a Jacksonville tour and a lot of other stuff.
That Best of the West was like an awful lot of stuff.
It's going to be about a 15-day tour. So who has questions? Anybody at home? I can't hear you.
Where did you say the mystery trip was?
Where did I say the mystery trip was going to go? We're going to take the mystery trip to Buffy's house and trash the place. Who has a real question? Ollie's got a handful of slips. Did a lot of you guys get the right answer?
Oh, they got the right answer.
Did they really? Nobody got the right answer.
It's not
Yeah,
wrong.
No.
That's the only one that came.
That's close.
No.
Okay, sounds like I stumped you guys with where in the world this month. So we're going to do a drawing. Would you guys like to know where it was?
Yes.
I'm not going to tell you. No. Don't forget, next month's meeting, April 12th, right back here. If you want to do the morning meeting at Freedom Square, they give out free coffee and pastries and fruit. So they're really nice to us here. So we're going to give some stuff away. You guys ready? I got a lot to give away today.
Oh,
You
good.
guys came on a good night.
Chocolate.
I got, it's all chocolate all the time. No booze today.
And the reason I was, the reason I don't listen when he does this one is I'm with him in the morning and I hear it.
Oh.
So I don't really pay attention in the afternoon.
She tunes me out in the morning too.
I do my best.
All right, here's your where in the world. It is Park Amigos de Jose Marti. That's over in Tampa near Ybor City. And what's unique about it, it is actually owned by the Cuban government. So if you step into that park, you're on Cuban soil. And it actually has soil in the park from each of the provinces in Cuba. So you are,
When were you ever there?
huh?
When were you there?
Anytime Dad did a tour of Ybor, he goes by.
No kidding.
Yeah, and that man in this, right, usually Dad gives it away is the guy standing there in Ybor.
Yeah, that's Jose Marti.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys who led the revolution against the, was it the Spanish they overthrew to take it over? I think it was.
Oh, I didn't know anything about that.
So, time to give stuff away. First one we'll draw is for the $25 on next trip. How's that? Let's see who it is. Mary guess.
Oh.
After all your belly aching today, after all that crying.
Thank you.
All right. We have 5, count them, 5 batches of chocolate to give away today. I'm going to start oldest to newest. So first one is going, that's for you. It's peppermint bark. All right. Now, if you didn't get something from your sweetie for Thanksgiving, I have a box of
Thanksgiving.
no,
Yes. Excellent.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And that's going to go to Rhoda Piakowski. Here you go, Rhoda. Yes, ma'am. Okay, next one for Easter. Wendy went out and got some milk chocolate bunnies for you. They're Ghirardelli. Where's Velma? Velma gets the bunny. Those are good. All right, working our way up. Now, these are donated by our good friend Buffy, and this is Chocolat Rich Dark Chocolat European, and it's 5 bars. So you should share. Where's Sandra? Sandra Hanson, here you go, darling.
Dark chocolate fan.
Are you?
Yes, I am.
Well, you have a lot of friends now. And finally, look at this. It's a giant 25-piece Hershey special dark bar. Ooh. Ah. Where's Barb Delgman? Barb, you win. Before I run that to you, remember, Ollie and I will stick around if you have questions or you want to book anything. And we'll be back here on April 12th. And thank you all for coming today.
Yeah.
All right.
See you next week.
Alrighty.
See you next week.
I got two trips coming up and 2 things with you guys.
It's not gonna be bad.
You gotta work on your priorities.
That is my priority. Loving it. So many sound. And 4th of July in New Orleans, I think I'll send my ex-husband. He wants to go to New Orleans and I don't.
Have you ever been?
Me, no, I bet it's just great.
No, it's interesting.
Very.
The
He wants, he's a cook. He loves me.
Oh, yeah.
I know, like, he wants to, and he
Went to
loves
Mardi
St.
Gras twice.
Wilson at the.
Have you? There's some darn good food there.
Yeah. Savannah, of course, was the pralines, whatever that, praline. I bought 4 little pieces, 20 bucks. I love Savannah.
That's a beautiful place.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Thank you for coming. I'm going to turn off the computer now.
Somebody else.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
There were such cool things. Such cool things.
I try.
No, you. Do great.
Well, if you can't, if there's ones you can't do, spread the word. Send somebody else.